Good evening, everyone. So today I got something to talk about the interpersonal conflict. You know, what my conflict is, how can I resolve it, stuff like that. And I'll also give one word of advice right at the end of this video. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right in. So, let's just say, so in our world that we live in today, there are many conflicts between many different groups of people, and their conflicts have varying results depending on how they are conveyed, directed, and resolved from. So there are many different styles of conflicts each group can encounter, and these conflicts between these groups of people can make or break a relationship with one's own friend, partner, and or family member, depending on the situation one must take. However, there are some ways into resolving a conflict that can lead into more positive movements if the person agrees on working together to help fix the problem and find a solution to the conflict. So obviously, I have my own conflicts, and they're mostly related to the win-lose situation, which is known as the competing conflict style. And in the book, what that means is that the win-lose situation, also known as the competing conflict style, means that one person has a high concern for themselves rather than on other people's concerns. They tend to solve conflicts their way rather than others. So say, for example, one person ask to the other person, hey, you need to start doing what I want you to do. And then the other person asks them, no, I wanted to continue what I need to do. And then the other person was like, well, then why don't you go ahead and stop it? And then the other person was going to be like, no, I still need to continue it. Please don't bother me. Stuff like that. That's just giving you a brief example. So I would say that my parents, they're mostly involved in these situations because, in the situation that I am in now, they asked me urgently about what work that I've been doing. And in these situations, I try to defend my position because, I feel like power is influenced within these win-lose situations. Because in the book, it stated that power is one of the ways within the win-lose situation to gain control over what they say and defend their position by defeating the opposing side with any kind of power they have to leave the opposing side left behind. So the example that I'm going to give out here is the parents have power over what they say and defend the position over to this other person. So the parents ask them, hey, you need to get off this and that, and then the other person will say, no, I still have to do this and that, and then the parents will ask them, well, just hurry up and just go ahead and do what I told you to do. And then the other person is just like, okay, fine, I'll do it. That's just giving you my brief example. It's not perfect, but you get the idea. I believe it all started back when I was in high school, but it may have happened earlier than that. And as of right now, this is still an ongoing issue that I have since I started doing education. I had my parents have actively encouraged me to do my work very hard and no resting, and I should be doing my homework every now and then, just not playing games and all that, a bunch of these types of things. They have high concern over me in relation to if I'm doing my work or not. So I think these type of conflicts towards me and my parents make me feel more frustrated and or stressed if the conflict ever escalates to the point where I get mad at them. So I think this is gonna plug into a term known as direct aggression. That means that in the book, the defending person outputs any kind of expression or criticism towards the offending side to threaten them. So as an example, between me and my parents, because it's usually back and forth conversations, but whenever they ask me something that kind of ticks me off or just like triggers something inside of me, I would usually get just like overworked and like something like that. But if anything else, like they're kind of expressing too much towards me, and I kind of express them back just to show them, I kind of show too much of that expression of myself, or criticizing them too much. Plus, I also may swear whenever I wanted to like prove my point, sometimes. But like, yeah, the outcomes will definitely vary from those situations. So like after I'm kind of fed up with all of their nonsense, I could just easily storm out or just go out somewhere where I can cool down myself. So say for an example, like when anyone like asks me something that just kind of gets me fed up about some things, I just usually walk out. I just usually walk out, somewhere where it's quiet so I could like refocus my thoughts, something like that. So, I mean, if anyone was involved in this conflict with me, my relationship towards them wouldn't be good for the most part if I continued to argue back at them just for the protection of myself and my beliefs inside my head. So, obviously, something worse can happen out of it. I don't know what kind of consequences are going to arise, but like, I just got to be careful over what I say. But like, if I wanted to resolve any kind of situations like this in the future, I would make sure that I can reason with the ones that I know of, so like my parents, and I would ask them politely to help me in these situations together, rather than just arguing back and forth and against each other because of my thoughts and my defensiveness. This means that me and others, including my family members, would collaborate with me to tackle on our problems that we have while keeping my stress levels very low so that I do not get offended by what they say in terms of getting things done in and out of the way. So, after the resolution of this conflict, I'll be more satisfied with how things should progress by being more calm and less aggressive when other groups of people, including my family members, deeply care about how I feel and the situation that I'm in a meaningful way. Because I wanted to understand my situation, in resolving the conflict. So the whole point here is that this is probably a win-win situation. This is also known as a collaborating conflict, wherein both sides have concerns for themselves and others, and they fix problems together to resolve a conflicting situation. So as a result of that, not only it can be defined as a fix for those conflicts, but they also figure out potential solutions to overcome those conflicting situations and also satisfy the needs and wants for both sides. So for an example, I have one family member that deeply cared about my situation and how I feel because they have probably experienced the same thing when they were young. So like they helped me out on this tough situations and we kind of tackled them, and so we satisfied the need for us both. So in short, this win-lose situation I had with my parents since I started my education had been an ongoing problem because I had to manage my work and play situation, keeping on track with my assignments, and pretty much just everything that I mentioned earlier. So like my parents would constantly ask me to like do my work, do this and that, and like that's basically all I can say because like I already mentioned it earlier in this video, but like these conflicts can make me go out of the walls, which in turn can impact my relationship between me and my family members. And I just wanted to make sure that I don't burn the bridges between me and my family members in our relationship to them, because they deeply care about me, but it feels like I kind of feeling like I'm disrespecting them, in fact. But like, if I can manage that, if I can predict what I say and level out the tensions between me and my family members, I could be more calm and respectful to them at the end. I could be more polite to my family members and probably work out our situations even better by teaming up, figuring out what's wrong, and then find a solution to the problem. So I guess we'll close out with a word of advice here. If you are in a troubled situation where you're kind of like defending yourself from any other person, whether it be a family member, a friend, or enemy, or whatever, ask them politely about what you're doing to fix those problematic situations that you had now or in the future. And hopefully when you've done things right, when everything just like kind of falls in, when you collaborate with others to help fix the situation, eventually things will turn out better than they used to. So yeah, I guess that's about it for this presentation. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, we'll see you then.